Hey. Good morning. Welcome to the Bloomington Rotary Club's weekly celebration of service. I'm Steve Wicks, and I'm honored to serve as your president this year. Parking, I think some members had problems parking today. I parked at the Atwater Garage for the first time. I'll report next week if I'm able to leave the Atwater Garage after this meeting. Please silence your electronic devices. Tracy, thank you for covering last week's meeting. Unfortunately, no club members signed up for this week's reflection. If any of you as club members have something you'd like to share, a message that doesn't cross any political or religious red lines, and you can say it in 3 minutes, please sign up for the next quarter on Sign Up Genius. We also have plenty of other volunteer spots for the next quarter. And also for next week, we still need someone to introduce guests and to serve as our Zoom host. So in lieu of a member reflection today, I'll spend a little bit more time discussing this day in history. In 1954, in the landmark case Brown versus Board of Education, the Supreme Court ruled that the segregation of U.S. schools was unconstitutional. The court reaffirmed this in 1955, ordering school districts to integrate with all deliberate speed. Under pressure from the local chapter of the NAACP, the Little Rock, Arkansas School Board approved a plan to gradually integrate Little Rock schools, starting with the local high schools. In September 1957, 9 African Americans registered to attend Little Rock Central High School, formerly an all-white school. These students became known as the Little Rock Nine. On September 2nd, 1957, Arkansas Governor Orville Faubus announced that Black students would not be allowed to attend Central High School, and that his orders were to be enforced by the Arkansas National Guard. On September 20th, following the orders of a federal judge, Little Rock Police replaced the Arkansas National Guard. On this day, September 23rd, 1957, Little Rock Police escorted the Little Rock Nine through an angry mob of 1,000 people into the school. Police then escorted the 9 Black students out of the school for their own safety. Later that day, on this day in 1957, President Eisenhower ordered U.S. troops to stabilize the situation and to support the integration of the Black students into Little Rock Central High School. In his televised speech, President Eisenhower described the behavior of Little Rock residents as disgraceful. On September 25th, 1,200 members of the U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division successfully escorted the Little Rock 9 into the high school. In May of 1958, the only senior member of the Little Rock 9, Ernest Green, became the first African-American graduate of Little Rock Central High School. Dr. Martin Luther King attended the graduation. In the summer of 1958, in an effort to prevent further integration, Arkansas Governor Faubus closed all the high schools in Little Rock. They reopened a year later. In 1999, President and former Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton awarded each member of the Little Rock 9 the Congressional Gold Medal. In 2009, each member of the Little Rock 9 received personal invitations to attend the inauguration of President Barack Obama. Marcy Hibbard will introduce our guest today.
Good afternoon. We have a lot of guests today, so I'm just going to go down the list. We have Mr. Ben Keller, and if you can stand up so everyone can recognize you. This is Sandy's husband. Next, we have Melissa Sparks. She's the wife of our late Rotarian Ken Sparks, and she's a guest of Sandy's as well. Another guest of Sandy's is Regina Moore. And Sandy's last guest is Simone Cabal Vieca. We also have today a guest of the club, Ellen Stroman. There's Ellen. Hi, Ellen. We have Shrikar Vasan, a guest of Jim Bright. Stephanie McMahon, a guest of Peyton Flynn. And did Trey Schindel show up yet? Okay, well, he's going to be here, and he's a guest of his dad, Winston Schindel. So welcome, everybody.
And online, we don't have any guests. We're all our local Rotarians.
Thank you, Marcy. Thank you, Laurie. Birthdays, only one birthday to celebrate this week. Tomorrow, Rebecca Thomas has a birthday. Lots of anniversaries. On the 26th, 2 of our Ivy Tech members, Heidi Schultz and Eric Coyne, will celebrate 2 years. Also on the 26th, David Wright, 2 years. Mark A. Winston, 2 years. And past president Yolanda Trevino, 23 years. On the 27th, James Wolfe will celebrate 3 years with the club and 23 years overall in Rotary. And on the 28th, Bill Perkins will celebrate 21 years. Announcements. We were well represented at the Law School Constitution Day program last Thursday that our club co-sponsored. Big thanks to Jeff Richardson for making that happen. Many of you have heard that club member Craig Spence fell 2 weeks ago, suffered a compound fracture of his wrist and arm. He has been in the hospital most of the time since then. He has a second surgery scheduled for today, and we're still awaiting word as to where Craig can be reached with messages and cards and things. Alan Barker urges peace-building committee members and other club members who may be interested to attend the UU Church at various times this Sunday to listen to Mary Catherine Morn, the president of the UU Service Committee out of Cambridge, Massachusetts. See Alan or see me for more details. Boys and Girls Club having a fundraiser from 6 to 8:30 this Thursday evening at the Ferguson Crestmont Club. Please contact club members Ashley Wesley or Rebecca Thomas for details, or see me. Lots of other announcements involving the club and club members. I'll just go through the list quickly. I don't have time to share details, but the Hoosiers Outrun Cancer event is on the 4th. The Buddy Walk is on the 5th. The NAACP Freedom Fund Banquet on the 1st of November. Our Rotary Toast on the 7th of November, and our club holiday party on the 11th. Hopefully the roundabout will have more details. Finally, in the announcements, Club Community Services Co-Chair Dave Meyer has an important announcement regarding a new grant program.
Thank you, Steve. President Steve, sorry. I am really excited today to announce a new program of our club. Many of you are no doubt familiar with the Rotary District Grant Program that we have. It's an annual matching grant that amounts to about $6,000. And this year it was given to Meals on Wheels. That process takes place in the spring. Well, now comes an additional grant that Bloomington Rotary can offer through using Bloomington Rotary Foundation Toast monies, the annual toast. So $10,000 is going to be provided to be split between at least 2 charity nonprofit awardees in the community. The grant will be managed by the Community Services Committee, and I will coordinate it as one of the committee's co-chairs. Community Services is thrilled because this will nearly triple the financial support that the club can provide annually to local nonprofits. The foundation grant is going to be awarded in the fall, so we'll have a fall grant program, and then we'll have the district grant program in the spring. And this is the world debut. This is the first public announcement of this new program. What we need from you guys is we need you to spread the word in the community and all the nonprofits, charity, 501c3 nonprofits that you know, and make sure that they are aware of this new opportunity. The deadline for proposals is November the 5th. And lastly, I would like to thank anybody that has gone to the Rotary Toast, because you have contributed funds to make this grant possible. I'd like to thank the Rotary Toast Organizing Committee for making that annual toast possible and this grant possible. I'd like to thank the Rotary Foundation for thinking of this idea. And lastly, I'd like to thank the Community Services Committee, which is going to administer this and select the grantees for this year and years to come. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. I have asked my wife and children to start referring to me as President Steve, but they have not started doing that. I mean, all of you as members of the club, you're members of the club, and you're also members of the Bloomington Rotary Foundation. So it's really great to see the two organizations working together on this grant program. I think we're ready for the Mystery Rotarian. Okay. Remember, if you know the answer, put up your hand. Don't shout it out. Online, same thing. Just put up your hand electronically. So other than 2 years as an assistant professor at West Point, this Rotarian has been at IU as a student, professor, or professor emeritus since 1960. I see one hand up, and I'm sure Judy knows the answer. Oh, and is there a second hand? Rex, yes. Okay. Second clue. A club member for over 20 years, this Rotarian just earned the Paul Harris +3 designation. You know the answer, put up your hand. Okay, no new ones. Third clue. This Rotarian served as the IU Big Ten faculty representative for almost 10 years during the period when the Big Ten Conference had 11 teams. Put up your hand if you... we have one more. Okay. And the answer is Bill Perkins. And I know Bill was not going to be here in person. He was going to try to be online. Lori, is he with you today?
Bill is online with us today.
Excellent.
There he is.
So besides teaching and researching in the areas of decision sciences and information systems, Bill served as department chair and also a chair of the Kelly School undergraduate program. He received many awards during his teaching career. He served a term as the president of the Decision Sciences Institute, and Bill spends his winters in Arizona. And Rotary International Minute, the only thing I will say is World Polio Day is October 24th, just over a month from now. And the club is still looking for something that we can do in the community to observe World Polio Day. And now we have a special treat for today, a new member induction ceremony.
All right. Thank you, President Steve. I'd like to ask Alon Barker, Michael Shermis, and Hal Wang to come forward. And while they're coming up, I just want to comment, Charlotte, where's your corona? You look great on Zoom, let me just say. And by the way, while they're coming up, shameless plug, buy your Rotary tickets, Balloon Toast tickets, because we want to support the great causes that are going. So just to pack on to what David said. All right. So I'm going to come on up to the main stage here. Oh yeah, this is big time. There we go. So Hal Wang is currently the grant manager at Developmental Science Services Incorporated, formerly known as Life Designs. DSI is a nonprofit dedicated to supporting individuals with developmental disabilities in Bloomington and Monroe County through a wide range of services, including housing, employment, and community engagement. In this role, Hal manages grants and helps ensure the organization has the resources to continue providing essential programs that empower clients to live more independently and have fulfilling lives. Hal has been working in the field for 3 years, drawn to the work by a strong commitment to helping people with disabilities and other marginalized groups. He wants to make sure that they are seen, valued, and included in society. Beyond his role at DSI, he's also active in the local community. He serves on the steering committee of Young Professionals Bloomington, YPB, because we always make acronyms, a program of the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce, where he works alongside other emerging leaders to foster personal and professional growth, relationship building, and community enrichment in Bloomington. Additionally, Hal volunteers with Spencer Pride every weekend, contributing to one of the region's most vibrant organizations supporting the LGBTQ+ community. Originally from China, Hal earned both his bachelor's and master's degree at Stony Brook University in New York. And in his free time, he enjoys exploring new experiences and passions. A fun fact, he's a certified rescue diver, giving him the chance to explore the underwater world with the same curiosity and dedication he brings to his professional and community work. Diving is amazing. So on that, Hal, I'd like to ask Alon to read the special language that we have for this ceremony, which reminds us all why we're Rotarians.
Thank you, Tracy. Hao Wang, representing Developmental Services Incorporated, formerly Life Designs. On behalf of the board and members of the Bloomington Rotary Club, it is a great pleasure to welcome you as the newest member of our club. We look forward to the fellowship that we will share, as well as your participation in the club projects that make this club, community, and country and world a better place. Through Rotary, though Rotary is not a political organization, Rotarians are vitally concerned with good citizenship and the election of effective leaders to public office. Yes, let's think about that. While Rotary is not a religious organization, it is built on those highest principles that serve as a moral compass for people throughout the ages. Rotary is an organization of business, professional, and community leaders pledged to uphold the highest ethical and moral standards. Rotarians believe that worldwide fellowship and peace can be achieved when people work together and uphold the Rotary motto of service above self. Rotary activities exemplify the partnership, respect, and generosity that one would expect from people who believe that they have a responsibility to help others. Haushi, you and Development Services Incorporated have been chosen for membership of the Bloomington Rotary Club because your fellow members believe you to be a leader in our community and because you possess the qualities to champion the message and principles of Rotary. You are a representative of your vocation and talent within our club and community. You have now become an ambassador of Bloomington Rotary, carrying the ideals of service to all within the sphere of our sphere of influence. Our community will know and judge Rotary by your character and service. We will also look to you for inspiration as we strive to become better Rotarians. We will now pin you with the distinguished badge of a Rotarian. Virtual, your Rotary pin. Imagine that it's there. Okay. We ask that you wear the Rotary pin that you now have with pride and in your memory endeavors. Well, symbolically, we all do that, right? As a symbol of your recognition of our recognition of your contribution towards a better world through your Rotary membership. Fellow Rotarians, please rise if you're able and welcome our newest Rotarian organization, Haushi Wang, representing Development Services and including Chris Hardesty as an additional organizational member. Yeah. And now I'll take some pictures. So stand there. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. And get a little closer, get a little closer together. Fantastic, thank you. Okay.
And now I present you with a Rotary pin. It's actually a rotary magnet.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I'll return to the mystery Rotarian. Judy and Rex, did you have it right? Good job, both of you. And then John, you were third. Did you have it right as well? Good job. Okay, Diana Hoffman now will introduce today's speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure today to introduce my friend and someone I admire greatly, Sandy Keller. Sandy is the founder and executive director of My Sister's Closet, a community resource for impoverished women. You may know that My Sister's Closet is a retail clothing store, but it is so much more. It's about empowering women to have strong resumes, necessary interview and employment skills, and most of all, the confidence to leave poverty and often homelessness and find meaningful employment. As an IU Business School graduate, Sandy has had years of experience creating successful businesses that she could have pursued for financial security. But instead, she had a vision and made it her mission to create a program that enables women to believe in themselves and pursue careers that they never thought possible. Please welcome fellow Rotarian Sandy Keller.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. People ask all the time how My Sister's Closet got started. And at the time, I had a business where I was managing other businesses from my location and doing research work out of that. And it was where the chocolate mousse is right now. And on Washington was the rise that had recently been built for transitional housing for women with domestic violence. And these women were showing up at my door asking for work, part-time work, full-time work, and the state that they were arriving in, to me, was shocking. Coming out of Randy Powell's business placement office classes at the university, it was so obvious to me that these women were so unprepared to be able to go out and present themselves as a good fit for other businesses in the community that would want to hire them. They did not have appropriate dress, hygiene, almost none of them had resumes, and absolutely no question, they did not know how to talk about themselves in a way that you would want to be able to hire them at all. And so that was really concerning. We were trying to help them. We were writing their free resumes for them. And one day I was interviewing for an assistant, and I had someone on the phone that I really liked. She was coming in for her first interview face-to-face, and she walked into the room, and without realizing it, I mistook her for someone I needed to send away. One of her shoes, her right shoe, was duct taped to her foot. Her hair was all matted. She smelled like campfire smoke. She'd been living in a tent outside and absolutely was in every way homeless. She took her resume that she had unfolded many times before, and you could see through the folds in the resume so much that I felt so sorry for her. I made copies and I told her that I would get a hold of her and I was considering more applicants. When I realized that all her contact information was incorrect, she didn't have a cell phone, she didn't have an address, and there was no way that we were going to be able to find her. And even though I asked for people to help look, we were not able to do that. And it left me feeling very, very responsible for this woman and several of these other women that were coming through the door. So along with a few other people like Eldon Hoyam at Work One, and also a friend of mine who was running jobs for Stone Belt, we tried to figure out a way to do something. A year and a half later, we launched My Sister's Closet, and the idea was to fill up a 20-foot clothing lending rack with suits, and every size women came in. And what we did instead is, in a 5-hour period at the farmer's market, we collected over a semi-load, half a semi-load of clothing, because apparently the community thought this was a good idea to give women a chance. So I am trying to scroll this down, and it doesn't seem to be working. Oh, clicker, got it, okay. I'm sorry, Michael, I'm the most inexperienced technical person you've got. Ben will tell you that, and I don't know what I'm doing. So basically, what we try to do is we try very hard to be able to help women redefine who they are so that they become more marketable to business owners, people who could employ them in the community. We do this by changing the way that they present themselves physically with professional clothing and image consulting. We give them hygiene products, but more importantly, we teach them how to represent themselves better on paper and how to talk about themselves in a way that they can convey what their education and their skill sets are and their experience in a way that they become the very best applicant in the room. Thank you. And so our mission is to build a stronger community by promoting economic self-sufficiency by providing women in poverty with professional support services and developmental tools for success. And I still need help doing this. Oh, I found it. Thank you. Okay, so Michael Shermis will tell you that I'm not very technical, and so can Marcy Hibbert. But all human beings need confidence, self-esteem, and positive networks to be able to thrive and find life success. We all do. This is a picture of my grandniece. She is fifth, sixth in the line of generations learning how to make pasta from scratch. She also was learning how to grow her vegetables, her peppers, her onions, her tomatoes to make her sauce. We do that when you're 8 or 9, whether you're a man or a woman in our family, you make this meal and you feed your family, and that is part of your coming of age. That is something that you learn as a skill set that will carry you further in life. It builds your confidence and it gives you an identity of who you are. That is what mentoring and advocacy does for all of us. But what if you don't have that? What if something doesn't go right in your life as you planned or hoped that it would? Every single one of us in this room has had something unexplained, some unplanned event happen to us, something unfortunate. But what if you grew up with them happening over and over again? And as an adult, they just continue to happen. The way you identify your life right now would be very different. My Sister's Closet assists women experiencing recent or multi-generational poverty and at-risk circumstances. So we see a lot of women who say that violence has interrupted their life, that they saw it as a child with their mother, and that they have had their life become changed dramatically, where they have had to make serious changes for their children and their own safety. 70% of the women that we are serving are single parent households. Many of them are grandparents who are now raising their grandchildren because something has happened to the parents. They are homeless, they are incarcerated, they may be dead. Lots and lots of things, but a lot of them are coming out of retirement to be able to take care of these children because they don't have anybody else in their lives. And when you are a single parent raising small children, you are among the most vulnerable among us because you have to be able to find a job that is going to allow you the ability to get off and go take care of children if they're sick, stay home, get off the bus, meet them, and make sure that their needs are met. Not all jobs and not all employers allow us to do that. 80% of the women that we serve are in some type of unhoused situation or living in temporary shelters. That is up 6% from what it was 2 years ago. I cannot even emphasize how many women are coming to us saying that they do not have a regular place to lay their head. This slide talks about a spa in the box. A lot of the women that are sleeping inside come in with their hair matted, like the woman that I told you about who influenced me so long ago. We have something that will help them excuse themselves into a bathroom and they can become refreshed. They can come out with dignity and self-confidence, and they're ready to work with an image consultant and try on clothes and be around women so that they feel like that they are able to have that kind of conversation. There are lots and lots of obstacles that women talk about, as you can just imagine, just lacking education, lacking transportation, childcare, trying to recover from substance abuse. So many of the women coming to us have some type of situation in their lives where they had to leave a situation because of substance abuse, or they themselves are trying to recover from substance abuse or alcoholism. It is absolutely changing their ability to find jobs. They are finding themselves displaced. And when they end up getting incarcerated, which happens a lot of times, and because they get felonies a lot of times, it makes it even harder for them to be able to succeed. So women come in telling us that they have had multiple childhood experiences. You have heard of ACEs. ACEs are adverse childhood experiences. Even if your parents got divorced, separated, that may seem very common, but that interrupts your life as a child and for you to be able to identify who you are. Many of the women that we serve are coming to us out of foster care. Lots of the women that we serve got pregnant in high school because someone deceived them, their trust was taken, moved out the window. They ended up in a situation by themselves and so oftentimes kicked out of their own families because they got pregnant. And they find themselves raising small children without a high school degree. A lot of them will come in with a GED. Many of them don't have that. When we have a situation where we have a woman who does not have anything but a GED, we try to move her into a situation where she can get a Core 40 education through Ivy Tech, the Excel Center, Broadview Learning Center, because that way she will become more employable and will teach her more skill sets. And so We offer these proven solutions. They are tools and training to increase a woman's ability to find better employment. Better employment, higher paying employment. Better employment means that you have benefits so that she can provide a brighter future for her family. And so the client center programming that we offer, again, teaches you how to tell your story more credibly and better. We want these women to be able to have prepared STAR statements: situation, task, action, result. If you can take a situation where you succeeded, where you put on that invisible cape, where you rose up and saved the day, you are going to be able to show that you can do something that other people are not willing to do, and that makes you a more interesting applicant. For women that come in and work with us, they may have been looking for a job for a very long time. Our goal is to take you off of the tall stack and put you on the very short stack of applicants. And if there are 20 women showing up to apply for a job and they have the same education and same experience, our applicant is going to get hired every single time. There is no question she gets hired. And so we try very hard to have women feel good about themselves, not just way they look in the mirror, but we want other people to see them as credible, respectable, reliable, professional job applicants. That is our biggest goal of the mentors and the advocates who are working directly with them. We do that by helping you take negatives and turning them into positives. We tell you how to answer those tough questions, those gaps in your resume, which a lot of times for very good reasons, you don't have a time when you were working. Maybe you were laid off and you don't know how to talk about that. Maybe you were fired, but maybe you were fired and that actually ended up becoming a good thing for you. But sometimes people leave situations that are not on the best circumstances, and they're uncomfortable learning how to talk about that. What we find out is that a lot of times when women left a job because they were fired, it was because they were pregnant. It was because they had to go pick up their children. They had to be excused too many times because their kids were sick. Those are actually things that all of us have to deal with, and we try to place them with employers that are going to be a little bit more understanding. And so I want to tell you about Ava. Ava came in and she had issues. She only had a GED. She had overcome a substance issue. She had left someone who was moving her around the country from one shelter to another. Over 14 years, she had 2 children and she had 32 jobs, and her resume was 6 pages long. And every single one of the jobs was no more than 2, 3, 4 months long. What we were able to do was change her resume into a portfolio style 1-page resume that showed that she had 10 years in back of the house, 12 years in front of the house. We were able to help her talk about who she was so well that she was able to land a job in something that she didn't think she was qualified at. Instead of making $7.50 at a food truck, $12 at a fast food place, she was making $22 an hour with benefits, and she is still coming in on a regular basis telling us how great her life is right now. And so what happens when a woman gets hired who has been looking for a job for a long time, that doesn't think that she could have gotten hired, that is so excited when we get her into something that she didn't expect was possible? She's already worked with these people at the store who are already telling her during her appointments that they're cheering for her, but they tend to walk into my sister's closet and they see all these women there. They don't know them. They're shoppers, they're volunteers. They're none of the people that they saw before. And they throw their arms up in the air and they say, "I just got hired." And for whatever reason, because women are nurturing, these women stop what they're doing. They come into wherever she's at, they put their arms around her, they pat her on the back, they cheer for her, they want to know all the details. And that goes on for about 5-10 minutes. And then we get to see that several times a month at my sister's closet. And it is one of the more cool things about being there. So 85% of the women that we are serving find job success or better employment within 6 weeks of their first appointment. Some women only need one appointment. Some women need several months of appointments, but we continue to work with them as long as they need us. We have women coming in after 10 years still asking us to update their resume and help them out. And so you've heard that we have a big new building and we're very excited. We also have a lease that's ending in June. And we have to be able to move our free community services to this new location by the deadline. We don't know if they will extend our lease, but we don't believe that they will this time. But all leases south of the convention center are going to be over at that time. Right now, we have an obstacle where we need to raise money. We've never really had to raise money before. My sister's closet has always been somewhat self-sufficient with a business model intentionally that we would raise our own funding for our monthly mission by our own efforts by running a thrift store. But this is more than what we can do. And so this is it. It doesn't look like that right now, but if you squint your eyes, you can tell that it looks just like this. We're going to need to add on to this with a building about the same size because this is only half of the space that we are using right now. Because we want to continue with our self-funded business template, we want this current space to turn into the retail component of what we are doing right now. And then the next space will have client services. So this is what the lower level of the existing building will look like. We will still have our formal room, our professional room. We will still have ADA dressing rooms, and we will have bathrooms and a first time ever because of Simone here, our friend, we now have a washer and dryer on site. So cool. And this is what the top floor is going to be with a break room for the first time with a kitchen upstairs and intern offices and work study offices. And the lower level is going to be where client services are going to be. We do not have a unique client door right now where they can walk in. Sometimes women show up and they really don't have much on because whatever might have happened to them, going into a store that looks like it's really nice, and they don't know that it's not, like a Macy's or something, it's a little intimidating being around some of these other women in the community. This is going to have a client reception area just for them. It's also going to have a protected breezeway so that women can drop off their donations in the snow and the sleet and the rain and the heat. Right now, we do not have something like that. You will also see we're going to have an infant area and a baby changing area and a place where women can nurse and a rocking chair. There will be a client bathroom for the first time. We will have a video speech and presentation area where we can film these women doing what they need to do best, telling their story so that they can rehearse it as if it's water falling off of a waterfall, so they could do it so effortlessly, it looks like they've got the confidence that we need them to be able to have in presenting themselves. We are going to be teaching lots of workshops there. We do a great financial wellness workshop. If you want to know more about it, ask Marcy Hibbert. We do resume writing workshops, interview skills workshops, and several other things, but they also get job skills training on site at my sister's closet. The biggest thing that we teach is operations, supply chain management. We also teach sales and several other different categories of things you could find at the Kelley School of Business so that you can build your resume while you are there if that is something that you need to do. And the upstairs is going to have an elevator leading up to it where we'll be processing our e-commerce department, which is a big residual income source for my sister's closet right now. But we also have an e-commerce boutique with more expensive items. But for those higher end items, you'll have to take the elevator to go up to see them. And so, but we're very excited about how we will be storing things. Right now, we are operating out of a long tunnel, which is one big building. And this will make things more consolidated and easy to access. And so we've got a funding relocation project with a deadline. And again, all our leases south of the convention center are ending this coming June. We've been operating for 27 and a half years. And this is the very first loan we've ever had. We've always been operating in the black up till now. We've never had a loan. And the first one is a mortgage of our own building. We use about 450 volunteers a year to do our mission, and we usually serve directly 200 women who have been referred to us or self-referred. But beyond that, we have about 800 women in the community that rely on us for professional workforce attire so that they can be able to do their jobs, whatever it is that they do, on a budget. If they do not have the money, we figure it out. And so some of our volunteers on Martin Luther King, it's a huge volunteer day for us. We have about 160, 180 volunteers that work on that project. And they are all holding up their snack bags that were made by kids at St. Mark's Church. They've got Martin Luther King quotes on them, Maya Angelou quotes on them. And on the other side is their own artwork. They're filled with chips and snacks and fruit and stuff like that. But every volunteer wants one when they're walking out. And so these are some of our volunteers on that day. There might be about, I don't know, 80 in that room. There's just a lot of people that volunteer for that. But, you know, we are hoping to expand just temporarily what we need to do in the community to raise this money. We owe $860,000 on our mortgage. We don't expect to pay that off right away, but we do need to pay for the civil engineer and the architect to be able to come in so that we can start to move forward on the renovation of our new building. We've been given an estimate of $400,000 for that and an estimate for the expansion of $1 million and a couple of other things. That sounds like a really huge goal for us, something that we have never been able to achieve. We are hoping that we can get some matching grants, and we are hoping that people will be interested in naming opportunities like a donor wall. But my sister's closet, once we move in there, our income from that new store will raise to about $300,000 a year, maybe more. Right now, you know, it's not that much, you know, through the retail store, but because of where it is situated with the intersection and area directions of traffic going in 4 ways, and this really nifty sculpture that's going to be at the corner, we think it's going to get some attention. But that will be, you know, our biggest goal, but that's all I've got to talk about. So yeah, I'd love to answer any questions if you have any.
Do we have any questions?
Jeff?
Yeah, thank you, Sandy, so much for all your great work, and the new facility is going to be fantastic. You know, there's a lot of programs. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you know, like the scholarship programs that you're aware of, even at IU and other great universities, they do everything to get the kid in, and then once the kid gets in, you're on your own. Housing, Section 8, get everything you can do to get them in. Once you're in, you're on your own. So one of the things that struck me about your Ava story, and this is where I'm headed, is that you had some data about 2.5 years later, she's still working. So that's what a lot of programs are lacking. Then what happens after you get them, quote, hired, get them the scholarship, get them into housing, then what happens? So what are you doing to keep track and answer that question? And then what happens after they get the job? Thank you.
That's a good question. Our client services coordinator and several of the other mentors that have worked with our women stay in touch with them. We continue, if they'll let us, keep inviting them to different things that they might be interested in. We give them a really deep discount for a couple of years to use in the store so that if they want to buy anything on their own, they can. But it's really about getting their stories and letting them know that they are part of another woman's success. We do expect women to be part of another woman's success. If you are receiving these services, they're not completely free. There's an obligation to other women in the community with what you now know to be able to bring them along. At the same time, if they are in our community receiving these free services from all over, we have a contract with our clients that we ask them to sign that says that they will give back to the community, they will take care of it, they will not trash the community, they will be respectful because they are a guest here. And then when they leave with the resources we've given them so that they can make another community better. but we try to have these women feel like they are still part of, you know, My Sister's Closet, and that we are part of them.
Hi, Sandy. John Weichert. Nice to see you again. I want to congratulate you for everything that you've done. Wish you the best in your relocation. I just want to offer for clarification. I know there was an IDS story yesterday. I know it's been mentioned in the community. The lease you have with the county commissioners is not connected to the capital improvement board or to the convention center.
Not at all.
The expansion of the convention center was never intended, nor there ever have been plans for it to go south into the property you currently occupy. We've never had conversations with the county about their plans. So there's no connection between what's happening with our expansion and your move. I'm quite capable of getting in trouble by myself, and I don't want to be in trouble for this. Thank you.
John, thanks for that. You know, I haven't read the article yet, and we absolutely made that crystal clear, you know, and we were interviewed 4 or 5 times by that one reporter. I apologize if it's not in the right light. I will try to clarify that again if they'll allow it. Yes.
Excellent job, Sandy. I
Thank
just want to be sure. Now, you already have a new location picked out with the building, and you're going to remodel that building? That's the plan?
Yes.
Okay, I got that. Okay.
Yes.
I mainly want to say how much I admire your work and your ministry and service, and you're a member of First United Church, and I want to commend that church for the other members that do outstanding work and service to our community. However, since I have to ask you a question, I will say, has anybody modeled this in other communities, or did you model it from any other place? Because it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for all cities.
Thank you. Actually, yes. All of this went into motion when several of us saw 60 Minutes, one of the programs in March of 1998, Dress for Success in, I believe it was Manhattan, was up and running for a year, and a shelter run by 3 nuns and a volunteer who was a female attorney. And as the story goes, these women weren't going anywhere. And someone got the bright idea of maybe if we gave some of them jackets, they'd find jobs. They collected over 600 jackets, I believe, within a year, and a lot of those women from the shelter didn't come back because they found employment. So we modeled it after that. But what My Sister's Closet does is not affiliated with anything else. We're completely unique. We are a grassroots organization, kind of figuring it out on our own here in Bloomington.
Do we have any questions online?
Yes, I do.
Not at this time.
All right, as I'm walking over, I will tell you, Kansas City, Raj is clapping. Raj, do you have a question or are you just clapping?
No, I have a question to my friend Sandy. Sandy, as usual, you presented the program you run as if you are representing yourself. I admire who you are and what you do. My question to you is, what is your relationship working with Exodus and other refugees who come to Bloomington? And are these clothes actually for sale and minimum pricing or given away to the customer you are helping?
Okay, that's a really good question, Raj. Thanks for asking. My Sister's Closet's worked with a lot of different refugees. We have, I believe, over 14 different countries represented from refugees that we have assisted. The refugees, when they are landing, they have nothing. So we actually give them a whole lot more than what our regular services are. We hired one of them, Jawahir Mohammadi, who that family was sponsored by our Rotary Club. She has been working for us this entire time. We helped her start a home business where she does alterations. We continue to serve refugees with Exodus and also displaced immigrant program if possible. The clothing is for sale. That is how we fund the mission. Women get everything completely for free. We do not have the ability to use all the clothing that's given to us. So it is cultivated so that we find just the right things for My Sister's Closet, and we pass the things on that we don't use to other organizations. We give away metric tons of stock to other organizations.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
I believe that I have the last question, but I'm Sandy, first of all, to echo everybody's appreciation for what you're doing. It's really quite remarkable. And, I've spent the last 11 years in career development, and I'm just so blown away by the way that you've structured your programs, in the greater scheme of things. It's really, really interesting. Are you connected to IU in any way? Do you provide experiential learning for students who want to be able to involved in this thing?
Oh, boy, wow. I could not survive without my IU people and all these Kelly School of Business students that have helped us change and mold my sister's closets programming and what it's become today. We have numerous interns, usually about 20 interns, a year are with my sister's closet. We have about 10 work study students and lots of student groups that take on projects for us. But absolutely, we rely on them for a number of different presentations they give to clients and all kinds of other things that we are trying to figure out so that we are working the smart way instead of the hard way. Yeah.
Sandy, thank you. Very interesting. I'm so glad that we have you and your organization in our community and part of our club. I also want to tell you that it took me 3 meetings to learn how to use the clicker, so don't feel bad about that. In honor of your talk, a donation will be made this quarter to Off Night Productions. I'd like to thank this week's volunteers. Mark Peterson was greeter, Marcy Hibbard, Diana Hoffman, Lori Garrity, Glenda Murray, Tracy Ivanovich, Katie Cerniak, Jeff Richardson, Amy Asajima, Marcy Hibbard again, and Tyler, you've been hustling today, so we really appreciate your work. Our next meeting will be September 30th. We'll be back upstairs in the Georgian room. Club member Jim Capshew will be speaking to us about IU history. So Tyler, if you would please share the graphic for the 4-way test, and please stand if you are able. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, is it fun?